Osei Owusu, who is a member of parliament for Bekwai, has joined us for the discussions as well. And we're just talking about the budget, and of course you'll be in parliament when it's presented. And we're looking at some key critical issues that needed to be captured in the budget. For you, what would they be?
Well, the first thing, if you ask me, is to how to stabilize the economy. Because when there's stabilization, then investment means something. That's when people will invest in all kinds of businesses, you know. Regrettably, all the steps we have pledged to undertake within the budget over the years, we have on our own reached them. And therefore, the things that we must do.
What steps are those?
Financial discipline, largely fiscal discipline. I mean, government is expending way beyond its means. What it means is that you're borrowing every day. And if you start with a capital of 100 cedis and you spend 120 every month, in 5 months, where will you be? You have nothing. That's what is happening to us. We're spending way beyond our means. We're borrowing and we're wasting too much of resources. Money that is intended to go to do public services are not reaching the service areas. And it starts from right from the top through down to the very bottom, to the MMDAs, the local municipal authorities. Rent-seeking behavior is digging deep from the resources, you know. So over the years, I've become a bit cynical about the things we put in the budget, because when you go and review them one after the other, the things that subsequently come to you, you go and refer that to the budget. Did you budget to do this? No. Did you budget to do this? No. And they are all padding up cost when your revenue is not matching up. So your currency devalues. The investments are wasted. If I have money today, I'll not invest it here because I will not earn enough to maintain the true value of my income. So I think that the minister should focus on how to stabilize the economy.
We've gone to the IMF, and over the last 6 to 8 weeks, the cedi has stabilized. And you can't say from January, from where we were going, now we should be happy with ourselves. How is the decision to go to the IMF going to impact positively as far as expenditure in fiscal policies is concerned for the next year?
I, for one, was very excited when government announced that it was going to negotiate with IMF for a program. For nothing at all, you'll be compelled to follow programs that you have drawn. You will not be want to spend more. I mean, they are kind of schoolmasters, so to speak, watching over you, ensuring that you go by your program. And that if you're going to bring in more expenditure, you must have revenue to match it. I'm very excited about that. It has implications for the country generally, but you're better off stabilizing before looking beyond for Lagis. Now we seem to be looking at, it's like a father who wants to make his children happy and therefore borrows to dress them extravagantly when he's actually going down. Somehow that's how we behave. We spend money on things that are not producing.
Which are what? For example, we've had monies that have been borrowed, used to build critical infrastructure like interchanges that is going to connect areas, going to connect highways into neighboring regions, even into neighboring countries, etc. Infrastructure that is going to ensure that we have adequate dependency in whatever we produce. For example, there's a sugar factory somewhere in, is it Commander?
That's what I've heard. It's supposed to have been commissioned. I've read in the news that's being commissioned.
Right.
Now, last week.
So all these monies were borrowed to do these. So if these were not good enough, why then, and as you said, you're cynical about it, say these are not projects that would inure in the long term to the benefits of the ordinary Ghanaian?
No, if they are invested well and managed well.
Well, we can see they have been invested. These are fiscal structures.
Yes, fiscal structures in their own do not bring returns. On their own do not bring returns. if you're talking about interchanges, good investment. But if the value is way beyond the true value,
meaning what?
That the cost of, yes, the cost of that thing is.
You're in Parliament.
Yes.
When the figures came before you, you didn't check?
You check at the committee level. You ask for information and say, oh, we will bring it. In the end, what it comes to is that the report goes to Parliament. Your comments are captured as comments. The rest you vote. So when people really want to see what are the observations, the reservations, you've got to get the reports that are put before the whole House. That is where it is at the committee level that all those reservations are stated and they are maintained in the report. The Hansards will have them. Every one of them, our reservations are captured. But
so you're saying that in Parliament, there are misgivings that have been outlined and really said about some of these figures?
Maybe. That's why.
But not taken into consideration, you say?
Yes, in the end, it is vote. That is why probably they're saying MPs are not doing well, because actually, even your reporters only report the end results. Parliament has approved so much as a loan. The processes leading to the approval, the observations that are made, the issues that are raised are not captured in the reportage. It will take somebody who is a keen researcher to go into the reports that have come from the committee level, where the true interrogation of the committees have been done, where observations have been there. Often, you say, please, this one, do this, do this. Sometimes they go back, particularly those that borders on legality and outright unacceptable things, they go back, repackage them. But often, when it comes to cost, you say, oh, there's being value for money audit. We will bring it. It never comes. In so many instances. You ask for the value of, oh, we engage this organization to do money. Where's the report? You never get it. You know, so in the end...
What you're saying is a serious indictment on the agreements sometimes that are brought before the House. And as a result, you're saying that there have been projects that have been approved and you feel that the sums of the projects really do not match up to what they should have been.
Yes. I've raised those. Sometimes what we have done was refuse to vote on the matter. We abstain from voting. You know, but probably we should be doing a lot more dramatic things so that those reasons will come out. When there's a voice vote and we abstain, it may not raise issue. People will not want to investigate, but probably henceforth, going forward, we'll have to do a lot more dramatic things so people know that the end of sometimes too, we are blackmailed.
Meaning what?
Let me give you an example. Yes, we are adults. Adults are blackmailed.
You're minority in Parliament.
Yes.
You're majority as well. You're whole Parliament. No, so you can't be blackmailed.
You are blackmailed, right? Look, you
mean what? Your hands are tied?
Not necessarily. You're looking at, for example, a project going to a community. The end result is good, but the project has been so badly padded that you ordinarily would want to vote against it. You want to show that this thing cannot go because of this, that. Then on the morning of the voting, they have assembled all the chiefs in that whole area, dressed in all kinds of things, and they are sitting there looking at you who will vote against that project.
I don't get you.
You don't get me.
A chief from a community,
for
the
example,
beneficiary community comes.
That's right.
And as a result of that, you, a member of Parliament who is representing sectional, cross-section of Ghanaians, can't do what is you feel is the best, is a bad decision that needs to be taken?
No.
Then why are you there for?
The project itself is good.
It's going to benefit the community. And so the beneficiary community heads are in.
They are in.
And as a result, you don't want to disappoint them.
No, it is because they deliberately interpret that to say you are against this project coming to our community for political purposes.
And so you're afraid that the next time...
That's the point. That is what I mean by blackmail.
I get your point. Okay. Yes. What other things do you think need to be captured? I was asking Kobe Champong, in their party manifesto, they have an outline of 200 schools to be built. Now, he was counting the number of schools perhaps that will be ongoing, 73, he says. So we're left with 100 and...
But that was not captured in the last budget. It's revenue, is a loan that has been taken from outside. In the last budget, it was not there. It was rather covered in the...
Yes. We're not talking about the next budget.
Well,
would you want it
no,
to be?
That's what I mean by the challenges sometimes we have with what you program and what you do.
In terms
the
of
things
expenditure.
the things that were programmed in the budget did not include.
So midway,
then some program.
All governments do it. Isn't all right?
Well, that's why all governments are responsible for some of the things. But today, the indiscipline has gone out of the roof. We should take responsibility for what we have done in the past. Each one. If my government did something, the party I support, MPP, party I'm a part of, my government did any of those things, hold me responsible for that. But in today's Ghana, we're looking at serious times when we are not meeting revenue targets at all levels. We are missing all revenue targets, and yet we are increasing all expenditure programs. How do you expect to have a stable economy?
The money taken are not wasted. You agree they are not wasted?
I won't say a lot of it are wasted. I mean, the Auditor General report is a clear example of how many are taking and not used for the purposes. That's what we call waste.
Okay. Talking about wastage, etc., Mr. Champo, how do we make sure, especially coming out of the, is it the Public Accounts Committee information following their sittings on the Auditor General's report about the seepage in the financial system? How do we tend to block those loopholes?
Well, I have fundamentally said, look, if you don't prosecute people for wrongs done, these things will continue to persist. That's the bottom line. You must prosecute them. Let them serve time. If they are found guilty, serve time in jail.
How do we do that?
Of course, there are rules and regulations pertaining to how you spend government money. If you spend it wrongly, if you spend it without the right rules and regulations being applied, you go to jail for those things.
So why haven't we seen that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm surprised that the MP is talking about, he used that little project he was talking about, a good project, but the chiefs come and sit there, and therefore...
He didn't say only one project, he said there are several.
Yeah, that's what I'm just using what...
He said they're hoodwinked.
Good.
I mean, he just didn't use the
Roland, what I'm trying to say... I'm
using the word...
What I'm trying to say is
the word for him.
What I'm trying to say is this. Regardless of what the situation is, if something is wrong, it is wrong. Don't look at the political expediency and say, I'm going to approve it, when you know that innately it is wrong.
One is also deliberately done
exactly.
to sabotage.
That's the point.
To make the other party look bad.
You must be a man of conviction. You should be able to stand your ground and say, this is wrong. Let the chips fall where they may. That's it. But then if you are going to say, I'm not going to do this because the chiefs are here and all that, we are all contributing to what he's describing as waste. Be convinced that it is wrong. If I have to lose my seat because it is wrong, it is wrong.
If you have to be in opposition because it's wrong.
That is what is going to carry this country forward.
Okay.
You see, but the pandemic, I did not say we voted for those things. We abstained because we fundamentally have problems with the costing, and sometimes it comes to design.
By your principles, you do not agree to them.
We do not agree to them. But rather than probably taking dramatic steps which will make people see or attract attention that, hey, these people, MPP people, are against us. Look, on this Atuabo gas thing, the Zuma chiefs actually wrote to MPP that you appear to be the ones who are against this thing coming to us.
You mean they wrote to the minority?
Not the minority, MPP as a party. Yesterday, we were discussing the
And you think all
letters.
these were actions that were...
So in the end, we only abstained. Probably would have done some more dramatic things.
By the end of the day, if you claim that what you noticed would not inure to the overall benefits of the intention of the projects and the people, then you should have done the right thing.
No, not necessarily it will not inure. The project was good. But it is needlessly expensive.
Of making sure there's value for money, etc.
That's right. That's value for money. That's our
So
challenge.
if that is a principle you adhere to, you should just follow through with the principle.
No,
Who has a principle and then in default
you
doesn't
don't
follow through?
know. If you vote against it, you will still be in the minority anyway.
And
So you are
still-
not
and
going
still
to be
lose.
able, right? So
First past the post.
that's right. So whatever happens, even if it's 1 over, it's 1 over. So now you're looking at, now, if I vote openly, these people here say no. The interpretation is that you don't like this good thing to come to their community. And that's why somebody deliberately barred them to come and sit in the parliament and look you in the face.
Okay.
Right? That person is doing a specific political thing.
You think all these are masterminded?
Oh, yes. And if it is...
I didn't know.
Oh, you didn't know that.
He's a member of parliament, so he's telling you
I
what-
know
what they
when
do.
we're working on the SDX, police commissioners and commanders were marched and they stayed
But what's wrong with that?
on the floor of parliament till
They are
midnight.
beneficiaries of the project.
Uh-huh.
We all remember
So in
that.
the end, they were they trying to
I
blackmail
remember
the
even
group.
one time there was supposed to be, was there an aircraft that was supposed to be bought? And
Army officers were all that.
Yeah.
But what
Nothing wrong with that.
you mentioned that you
They are
mentioned that
beneficiaries of the project. They want to see how the
Is that the everyday thing that you have a
mentioned
whole
that
police
Atuabo
contingent?
project.
Yes.
What was the fundamental thing that was wrong with it that you guys?
We're saying
were
we're
opposing?
talking about cost. We're talking about also some clauses. That's why some members took the matter to court. That whilst the gas project is a good thing for them, it should not fetter GPHA in its work in Takoradi. There's a clause that says that for the period that Atuabo is on, GPHA cannot expand its activities relating to oil and gas. That was a massive. We challenged and challenged in the end, you know. But in the end, we only
GPHA cannot
abstained.
expand its activity with regards to oil and gas.
Yes. Yes, it's
They
part
raised
of the
that in the
agreement.
media within the period.
Yes, but
And that
so-
was the matter that
Okay.
Kobe and others took to
It's
court.
very unfortunate. I wanted us to look at the $700 million loan that is it I hear they are GMPA now? Or is it? It's
No,
still a
GMPC,
GMPC.
yes,
Okay.
it's
They came out
GMPC.
and said they were not for exploration. There were ongoing development costs and
Should this matters information not be coming to Parliament to be interrogated?
Why?
They are required by the Petroleum Management Act that at the beginning of the year you bring your program, all the activities you intend to undertake. Parliament will screen and approve them. It is based on that allocation of revenue will be made to you. Now, last year you presented your program. It did not include any such thing. Now, you have gone to enter an agreement in which you're pledging money that you hope Parliament will approve for your use as the means by which you will pay.
You meaning what? Collateral?
Well, I don't know.
By which? That
Yeah,
means by which they
will
can defray.
pay. That's right.
Okay.
The loan, the 700
Right.
already, I'm told, taken.
Right.
Now, in 2013, the amount that Parliament gave to you was different from the amount they gave you in 2014. And so once it was reduced from, I think, 13 to 24% to 23 also, which means that in a particular year, Parliament can give you zero and you default. Who will be responsible? Whatever it is, GMPA has no resources that are not owned by the people of Ghana or the government of Ghana. So in the end, the fallback is on the government
But
of
what
Ghana.
lies the argument that I've heard severally? That I've read the act of the is it the GMPC establishing the GMPC? It says
That's
that
the
when
act.
when GMPC wants to go and borrow, they only need the approval of the finance minister.
That was PNDC law.
Has it been
2287.
repealed?
No, but by implication, the Constitution
Whose
says
implication?
that the implication
Your
of the
interpretation?
Constitution. No, the Constitution says that upon the coming to force of the Constitution, any enactment which is not consistent with the Constitution, to the extent of its inconsistency, stands repealed. So, by implication of the Constitution, any borrowing which would have the effect of bringing a burden on the national purse, it says the government and its corporations, Article 181, that they ought to come to Parliament.
Sir, if that is it, why is the GMPC calling the bluff of the parliamentarians? Because it's a very serious national issue.
Listen, GMPC's basic argument is that it is borrowing on its own books. That's it. The strength of its own books. And
Is
it's
the
a corporate
revenue
entity.
sorry?
That's it. It's
Is
a
the
corporate
revenue
entity.
oil on its books? Oil revenue. It's not on its books.
Yeah, but they are
It's
not borrowing from oil revenue.
That is what they have
No,
used.
no,
that
no,
they
no,
will
Mr.
pay.
Please read their explanation again. They were very clear that they are not
document, where is
borrowing
it?
from the oil revenues. They said it. They are not borrowing from the oil revenues.
It is their word again.
No. They are not borrowing from the oil
No,
revenue.
I'm
They
saying-
were very clear about that.
I'm saying that the
They are very clear
document,
about
the
that.
agreement they have signed, they are saying that they will pay from
Have you seen the
oil
agreement?
revenue.
Have you seen the
Yes.
agreement? You have seen the agreement.
Yes.
So
Why
you're
are they afraid to put that agreement
So
before?
you're saying that the statement GMPC has issued
It's
is
not
contrary to the agreement
the
that they signed.
contents of the agreement they have signed.
That's a whole different matter. But I don't
see.
think GMPC is
Why are you
taking
dressed
it
like
in
this?
Oh, I'm going to join the Agbe war. Agbe war.
That means they are killing us.
They are true.
Who is killing who?
Look, the government of NDC.
But you are part of the government, aren't you?
No.
You are.
No.
Don't you know you are part of government?
No.
You are.
Don't make the mistake of linking the executive with the judiciary. That's what this group
You are
have been
part of
trying
the
to say.
government.
No, I'm not.
Why are you not part?
Because
are you not a member of the legislative body?
Yes, the executive power.
I'm going to say 3 arms of government.
There's 3 arms of government.
So why you say you are not part?
I'm not
You are
part,
part
of the
government.
executive power.
You make the laws for the country.
And then who disburses? We're talking about
No. You
misusing
see,
public funds
you are
here.
part of
Please,
government.
This
You are part of government.
This theoretical arguments have been
it's
made
not
here and-
theoretical.
But
3
what do you
arms
say-
of
what do you call
government.
government and opposition?
3
I am in
arms of
opposition.
government.
All right.
Maybe what you have to say, you are not part of the
Mr.
administration.
Champo, Mr.
But
Champo,
say you are part of
I'm
government.
Mr. Champo, do you agree?
Administration,
Do
you
you